Guys, we're going to cook a pot roast today. We're going to smoke it on the Kamada, on the Akorn. This is a Char-Griller Akorn. We've got the lump coal about ready. Add some big chunks in here. Smoke about 5 hours, so you just want to make sure you get enough big chunks to keep it lit for a while. That'll be plenty. Today I'm going to use some Weber cubes. These are just paraffin cubes. Sometimes I use the Kamada Joe fire starters, but when it's cold like this, if you can see out there, there's still snow on the ground. And these Weber cubes light quicker, and so I'm going to use them today. I like them over the Kamada Joe fire starters. Get down in there underneath some charcoal. I'll show you how easily these things light. And it's just that easy. Top of that. I'm going to leave this lid open for about 10 minutes. Let the paraffin burn out. And this is a nice thing to do. I take my lump coal and instead of just keeping it in the bags, I stick it in there. And this is, you can read the side of that. It's a 32 quart, and it holds just about an entire bag. Take it on, it stays tight so it doesn't get any moisture in it. I forgot the most important part is the glove. It's just an old glove that I have, but I keep it inside there so that when I'm grabbing charcoal, I don't get it all over my hands. And it goes out of the way. So we're going to leave this open for about 10 minutes, and then we'll come back. And I have the bottom vent open just to make sure the air gets through there. So, okay. All right, guys. We're going to put our iGrill. We're going to install that, and we're just going to use today the ambient temperature probe. We don't need it for the meat because we're cooking pot roast. Keep that handy because we'll use that some, and that's just a handy tool to always have is a stick probe. But for our amateur, it's so cold out here, we need our ambient temperature probe just because even though this is pretty accurate, being so cold, you don't want to mess with that because it's quite cold. So with that probe, that iGrill is a great device. It can hold 4 probes, 3 meat probes in ambient, or 4 meat if you want. I'm going to use one. And we're going to be using pretty much all the center part of this. One important step is the smoking stone. Put that. That down there. That's just the heat deflectors. It's called a smoking stone. And this may be overkill, but I always put my ambient temperature probe on my grate right above where, see if you can get in there, right above, you see how this goes out and there's smoke, the heat comes around. Well, I want to put it on top of that over on the side, and I can actually go a little bit farther. Well, you get as much of the room as you can, but you're not getting direct heat on it, so you know what the temperature here is. Because the temperature here is going to be different than the temperature up here, especially when it's cold outside. But we're aiming for 250. And so we're just going to get our temperature where we want it before we do anything. Now, the cool part about this is that Okay, on the eye devices. In just a moment, it'll connect, and there it is. There's our temperature at this moment, and it'll rise on up. And so I can take this inside. You can put it on your iPhone or iPad. But anyway, I'll show you. We're gonna put the top vent. You can see that's wide open. We're gonna put it right there, and down here on the bottom vent, we're about 2.5 for now, and then we'll see. We'll get slowly to 250, and if we need to open or close the vent to get to 250, we'll. Yeah, we have plenty of time today, and so there you go. All right, guys. Here's the roast we're gonna cook. It's a 2-pound roast, give or take, and today we're gonna be using Killer Hog's steak rub. We're going to sear this on the grill. Not in the cast iron skillet. So we'll sear it about 15 to 20 minutes on each side, and then we'll come back and we're going to put it in a jus. And so we'll make our jus with bouillon cube and some Lipton onion soup mix, and with water, and cover it up, and then we'll cook this for an hour with that and lid on it, and then we'll come back and we'll put our root vegetables in, our potatoes, our onions and carrots, and we'll chop those up, put them in there. We're going to cook it for 2 more hours. As you can see, we're 195 on our temp, and it's just rising very slowly, which is what you want. And then when you get to target temp of 250, then we'll be ready to put it on the grill. And so we'll just put our rub on. And with this rub, you don't need any other seasonings or spices or salt. It has all of it. It has all the seasonings you want. It's great on steak and chops. We did pork chops last night with this rub, and it was outstanding. So pat that in so we'll stay on. And we'll easily turn it over because we don't want that to fall off of that side. Doesn't that look great? And you can be liberal with this because you want to create a crust. And then we'll let this sit for about 5 minutes, well, until we get to 250. We're going to let it sit. And I'll say hello to my son.
Hi.
All right, we'll be back when we're ready to put it on the grill. All right, guys, so what we've done, I've taken the grate off and I added the apple chunks, and they've been soaking for an hour, probably a little better than an hour. And so now we have our apple chunks in there, apple wood, and so we can get a nice smoke flavor because we're going to cook this, like I say, directly on the grill to get a sear. It's not going to be a great sear because we're only at 250, but the idea is to get to lock in some of the flavors. So just directly on there, and we're going to let this sit 20 minutes probably, and then we'll come and flip it and do 20 minutes on the other side. And I'm going to install this because I took it off. Again, you want this directly over where it comes up. Make sure that's out of the way. All right, we are smoking. I can already smell the apple wood. Smells great. And there we go. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and take this off the grill and take it inside and get it prepared in the Dutch oven. It's great on both sides. You can see I'm going to cook it fat side down. So I'll tell you what we're going to do while we're out here. Go ahead and put the heat deflector back on. In there. Okay. Smoke. All right. Looks good. Let's go. Alright, what we're going to do now is we've made our, this is 2 bouillon cubes with water, and added probably another cup of water. And so we're just going to add that to it. With that beefy flavor. Okay, also going to add I'm also going to add a cup of cooking wine. Just give it a little more texture, that it'll get in there and make it another flavor. We'll go ahead and add our Lipton onion soup mix. You just simply just sprinkle it on. Get into the juice. Looks good, smells delicious already. Cover it up, and we're going to cook this for 1 hour. We're going to cook it for 1 hour without the veggies. And then we'll come back in an hour and put the vegetables in. Alright guys, we're at 250. That's showing 250. The ambient temperature is actually 270. Alright, let's see. It's been 1 hour since we put it on. Oh, look at that. Would you? Smells delicious. Looks even more delicious. That's going to be fine. Alright, so what we have to do now, this is going to be interesting because try to get this all in there, but I'm doing it, I was going to do it in a Alright guys, what we had to do was had to stop, and as you can see there, I had to get my syringe to get some of the juice out. I had a little bit too full, and so anyway, covering that up, and that'll cook down, it'll soak down. That's looking very, very good. Okay, now let's make sure. Oh yeah, perfect. That's absolutely perfect. Alright, so we'll set that on there. Now we'll cook for 2 hours, just not even touching it. And stay at 250 for 2 hours. Alright guys, we've been on 2 hours exactly with the veggies in here. So I just want to check and see how we're doing. I haven't looked, and it looks delicious. Oh yeah. Just feeling of the roast. It's tender. And oh, that's real tender. Carrots are breaking. Everything's nice. The roast itself, just trying to stick my fork in it. Yeah, it's done. You can cut that with a fork. So we bumped the temperature up just a minute ago, and I'm going to let it bump up a little bit higher just to cook maybe about 15 minutes. Maybe get a little brown there. It smells delicious. I wish you could smell it. Alright, we'll let this sit 15 minutes. I'm going to crank it to, I'm almost at 300 now. I'm going to try to keep it at 300. And about 15 minutes. We'll be ready to eat. Alright guys, I just want to take just a moment and show you this. This is my iPad. I have the iGrill hooked to it, and you can see I bumped my temperature up to 300. But just how two things. One, the iGrill and how great it is. You can see, like you can see when I open my lid, and then those are small bumps when I open the lid to check on it. That's when I did some work, and that's when we just opened the lid just a moment ago. And so, but you see how the Char-Griller Akorn is, a lot of my friends have the Kamado Joe or the egg or the Primos. This is a cheap version of that. Just a Char-Griller Akorn. It's not ceramic, it's forged steel. And but I just wanted to show you how well it keeps temperature. And it's 30 something degrees outside, but you can tell here, well, that's not what I wanted. I don't even know what that is. I don't know how to get back. Oh, there we go. You can tell it holds temperature straight across there, and then when I open my lid, it comes right back. You know, anytime you open the lid, you're going to create a little more coals to get hot. And so you have a little short raise and drops down. I keep hitting that for some reason. But just how, and then here's where I bumped it up. I started wanting to bump up my temperatures at the end. And so just a slight rise. And so it's just deadly accurate cooker. Just could not be more happy with the Char-Griller to cook, to smoke. I can get it up to 600 degrees easily to sear steaks. I can get it to 650 when I cook pizzas. It cooks a great pizza. And so just wanted to show you that, as well as this the iGrill, how great it is. And when you have another meat probe hooked into it, you'll have different bar graphs down here for each probe, and you can name your probes and all that. I didn't do that, but you can. All right, guys, we are finished cooking. We're about to take this thing off the grill. And so before I take it off, I'll have my hand full. I'm going to shut my vents down, or shut the top so it'll smother the coal out. I'm going to take the iGrill out, just let it sit there and cool down before I wash it off. And all right, let's see what we have. All right, guys, let's do a taste test. You see, it turned out just delicious looking. I mean, look at the potatoes there. Just there's the carrots and the onion. It's got a great smell to it. I can pull this with my fork. I'm going to cut it so you can sort of see. Well, I got the end piece, but you can see smoke in there. I'm just going to try the roast itself. Delicious. Very delicious. Great looking roast. Great tasting roast. All done on the Kamada grill. Try it yourself. You'll enjoy it.
Yeah. Okay, so I am going to be the taste tester of this new channel. So, hope I like it. Dad, that was good.
Not bad, huh?
Not bad.
How's the bread? How's the Yago cheese bread? Is it hot?
Good. Got hot.
Thumbs up.
Thumbs up.